Have you ever wondered how people survived for thousands of years before hospitals, antibiotics, x-rays, or even the idea of a doctor existed? Today, a simple infection can be treated with a pill, but in the ancient world, the smallest cut could become a fight for survival. Yet somehow, humanity didn't just survive. It multiplied, built civilizations, crossed continents, and laid the foundations of the modern world. So how was that possible? The answer is far more fascinating than you might imagine. Long before medicine became a profession, survival depended on observation. Early humans had no textbooks, but they had nature. They noticed that wounded animals often rubbed against certain plants, that some leaves soothed pain while others caused sickness, and that clean running water healed wounds better than stagnant pools. Every successful remedy became knowledge passed from one generation to the next. This wasn't science as we know it, but it was the beginning of medicine. Imagine a hunter returning to camp with a deep cut from a stone spear. There were no emergency rooms waiting for him. Instead, family members cleaned the wound using fresh water, covered it with moss, honey, tree resin, or crushed herbs depending on what was available, and hoped the body could do the rest. Surprisingly, some of these treatments actually worked. Modern research has shown that honey naturally fights bacteria, while certain plant extracts reduce inflammation and help wounds heal faster. Ancient people didn't know why these remedies worked. They only knew that they often did. But wounds were only one danger. Disease was an invisible enemy. Ancient people had no idea that bacteria or viruses existed. Many believed illness came from angry spirits, curses, or unhappy ancestors. When someone became sick, treatment often combined practical care with spiritual rituals. A healer might prepare herbal medicine while also chanting prayers or performing ceremonies. To us, that may seem strange, but these rituals often gave patients comfort, reduced stress, and strengthened social support, factors that modern medicine recognizes can influence recovery. Every community had individuals who became experts through experience. They weren't called doctors in the modern sense. They were healers, herbalists, shamans, midwives, or wise elders. Their knowledge came from decades of observing nature and learning through trial and error. Some remedies failed, sometimes with tragic consequences. But the successful ones were remembered, refined, and passed down as precious knowledge. One of the greatest challenges ancient people faced was childbirth. Today, childbirth still carries risks, even with advanced hospitals. Thousands of years ago, it was one of the most dangerous moments in a person's life. Experienced midwives learned techniques to help mothers deliver safely, recognized warning signs, and used herbal remedies to ease pain or reduce bleeding. Their experience saved countless lives, even without understanding anatomy and scientific detail. Pain itself was another constant companion. There were no painkillers from a pharmacy. Instead, different cultures discovered natural substances that eased suffering. Willow bark contained compounds similar to modern aspirin. Opium poppies were used in some ancient civilizations to reduce severe pain. Certain fermented drinks acted as crude anesthetics during painful procedures. These discoveries were remarkable examples of careful observation rather than scientific theory. Not every ancient treatment was effective. Some were harmless, while others were dangerous. Bloodletting, for example, became common in many civilizations because people believed illness was caused by an imbalance inside the body. Although it occasionally helped in rare situations, it often weakened patients instead. Ancient medicine was a mixture of brilliant discoveries, hopeful guesses, and understandable mistakes. Then there were broken bones. A fractured leg could mean death if a person could no longer hunt or gather food. Yet, archaeologists have discovered skeletons with healed fractures that clearly required months of care. This reveals something extraordinary. Ancient communities didn't simply abandon injured people. Families and tribes protected them, fed them, and waited for them to recover. Compassion may have been one of humanity's greatest survival tools. Food itself was also medicine. Long before vitamins were discovered, ancient societies learned that certain foods prevented sickness. People who lacked fresh fruits often developed strange illnesses, while communities with diverse diets remained healthier. Although they couldn't explain nutrients, they recognized patterns and adapted their traditions accordingly. One of humanity's greatest teachers was failure. Entire villages could be devastated by unknown diseases. Survivors learned painful lessons about separating the sick, avoiding contaminated water, or burning infected. These practices appeared in many civilizations centuries before germs were discovered. They didn't understand microorganisms, but experience taught them that some behaviors reduced the spread of illness. Ancient Egypt provides one of the earliest examples of organized medicine. Medical papyrus scrolls describe treatments for wounds, fractures, digestive problems, and dental pain. Some methods sound surprisingly modern, while others mixed medicine with religious beliefs. Across the world, traditional Chinese medicine developed detailed systems based on centuries of observation. In India, Ayurveda emphasized balance, diet, hygiene, and herbal treatments. Indigenous cultures across Africa, Australia, and the Americas built vast knowledge of medicinal plants unique to their environments. Different civilizations reached different conclusions, yet all shared the same goal, helping people survive. Perhaps the most remarkable healer wasn't a person at all. It was the human immune system. Every day, ancient people fought countless invisible microbes without ever knowing they existed. Their bodies constantly destroyed harmful bacteria, repaired damaged tissue, and built immunity after surviving infections. Medicine certainly mattered, but the body's own defenses were always doing most of the work. This also explains why survival often depended on overall health rather than miracle cures. Strong nutrition, clean water, rest, supportive families, and safe shelter gave the immune system the best chance to succeed. Even today, despite all our technology, these basic foundations remain essential for good health. As civilizations grew larger, medical knowledge slowly became organized. Ancient Greece introduced careful observation and logical reasoning into medicine. Physicians like Hippocrates argued that diseases had natural causes instead of purely supernatural ones. This shift didn't instantly create modern medicine, but it changed the way people searched for answers. Instead of asking which spirit caused illness, they increasingly asked what physical process might be responsible. Still, progress was slow. Without microscopes, modern chemistry, or advanced anatomy, many diseases remained complete mysteries. Plagues could appear without warning, wiping out thousands despite every known remedy. Humanity repeatedly learned one humbling lesson. Knowledge grows slowly, often through centuries of questions, failures, and discoveries. Looking back, it's easy to underestimate ancient people because they lacked today's technology. But they possessed something equally powerful: curiosity, resilience, and the determination to learn from every generation before them. Every herb they tested, every wound they treated, every childbirth they assisted, and every mistake they survived became another small step toward the medical science we rely on today. The next time you swallow a simple antibiotic or visit a modern hospital, remember that these advances didn't appear overnight. They stand on thousands of years of observation, courage, experimentation, and human compassion. Ancient people survived before doctors not because they had perfect medicine, but because they never stopped searching for better ways to heal. And perhaps that's the greatest medicine humanity has ever discovered: the endless desire to understand life well enough to protect it.